Chapter 5 Targets How and Where. A good practical target backstop is a simple thing to build. Your local dealer in used lumber provides an excellent source for target timber at a reasonable price. Sometimes a local sawmill that specializes in rough sawed lumber is the best source of all, because this type of lumber can also be custom sawed to the desired thickness and width for no extra charge. Target construction. If at all obtainable, your target boards should be at least 3 inches thick and as wide as possible. The wider, the better, since the target should be a minimum of 2 feet wide. A 3-foot width is much better. If 3 wide boards are used, the center board can be replaced quickly, as needed, since the center plank will take most of the wear and tear on the target, especially after you achieve that pinpoint accuracy. Also, a board that is at least 3 inches thick can be turned over and used again without being completely chewed up, as a thinner plank would be. The grain of the wood in a knife or tomahawk target should always be vertical. Nail 2 or 3 strong cross pieces horizontally across the back of the target boards to hold them tightly together. When you become skilled with a knife, most of your throws will stick in vertical alignment with the grain of the wood, and the same is true for a hatchet or tomahawk throw. The hanging target. For ordinary use, the knife thrower can build a stand-up type target 5 or 6 feet tall, which can be leaned or nailed against a tree or other convenient object. Or else a more permanent hanging type can be constructed. The recommended length for the hanging target is to measure your boards the distance between eye level and knee level. The hanging target suspended from and against a permanent frame is especially recommended to the serious knife thrower. It is constructed of 3 lengths of threaded 2-inch pipe joined together by standard pipe elbows in the shape of an inverted U. The top bar need be only 18 to 24 inches long, with a heavy eye bolt secured through the center of the pipe from which the target will be suspended in front of the frame. The target itself will be considerably wider than the inverted U frame and can be as long as the knife thrower feels is necessary. The upright pipes of the frame can be 7 or 8 feet in length and should be embedded in concrete to a depth of 18 to 24 inches below the surface of the ground. This will make a most excellent and permanent frame for the target. Heavy staples should be used to attach a short length of sturdy steel chain across the target's back, and a strong S-hook should connect the target chain to the eye bolts that is fastened through the top of the frame. The S-hook and steel chain must be strong enough not only to hold the weight of the target, but also to withstand the considerable strain exerted when the deeply embedded knives are forcibly withdrawn from the wood. With this system of suspension, the target can be lifted down from the frame for winter storage when cold weather and snow may make outdoor knife throwing a bit inconvenient. It is also easy to take down the target for repairs or modifications, or for turning it to face the opposite direction. Target materials. Several types of wood can be used to build targets. Soft white or sugar pine is best whenever it can be obtained. Soft maple, poplar, basswood, willow, and redwood can also be used. In the southern USA, a good target can be made of cypress. Even elm is used if other varieties are not available, but the so-called softwoods are by far the most desirable, especially basswood. Positioning target faces. Since most knife throwers use a set of 3 or more matched knives, it is recommended that 3 target faces, or 1 for each knife thrown, be placed in vertical alignment. The target board should be of sufficient length to accommodate at least 3 target faces without crowding. Depending on the final size and shape of the target, it is wise to plan a separate target face for each knife used in the set. If you throw more than 1 knife at the same bullseye, you will quickly nick your weapons or clobber the handles. This should be avoided always. It is also recommended that target faces be placed no higher than eye level. Other target objects. Many objects will serve as suitable targets, including large stumps of wood, dead tree trunks, and the butt end of a large sawed log, which also makes an especially good target for tomahawk or hatchet throwing. The best targets are flat and not rounded. Be sure to avoid using utility or telephone poles or even live trees for objects upon which to demonstrate your skill. The owners of such items take a dim view of damage done to their property, even if no harm was intended. Moving targets. Once you have acquired the necessary proficiency with a thrown knife on stationary targets, you can start on moving targets. These provide tremendous sport and a keen challenge. They also help condition you for the sport of hunting game with the thrown knife, which is one of the few sports that can provide a thrill somewhat comparable to fighting a bull, wrestling an alligator, or catching a giant blue marlin. Moving targets are easy to build and very inexpensive. One type can be made from an old tire casing. With scrap lumber at least 2 inches thick, you cut the pieces so they fit snugly inside the casing. Hold the target firmly together by cross pieces nailed across the back. The painted bullseye provides the mark. This target can be rolled in front of the thrower or suspended by a rope or chain from the branch of a convenient tree. It can then be spun or swung back and forth. When you find you can hit the bullseye 5 out of 10 throws while the apparatus is in motion, you can consider yourself an accomplished knife thrower ready for hunting or public exhibitions. Sliding targets. The sliding target is greatly favored, especially by riflemen and archers, but is also valuable as a training device for knife throwers practicing the hunt. This is usually a square or rectangular target with 2 strong screw eyes fastened into the top edge of a thick board. These screw eyes are threaded on a tight wire suspended at eye level above the ground. The target slides along the wire slowly or rapidly depending on how hard it is to be pushed from its starting position. Not only does this type of moving target provide great sport, but it is also a most excellent device for training a knife thrower in a split-second timing and precision. He must have both if he ever expects to bag even small game, which usually moves quickly. Whether you decide to hunt with a throwing knife or not, moving targets have the virtue of novelty and provide an exceptional challenge to a knife thrower's skill. Multiple target field rounds. The 28 target field round, or hunting round, used by field archers suggests a fine novelty event for knife throwers. Up to now, field archers have always especially enjoyed the big game round in which life-sized targets of various game animals are used. This round provides so much fun for bowmen that knife throwers might wish to adopt the basic idea for their own sport. Archers have 4 shots at the larger animal target faces, many with walk-up positions. In real hunting, the archer has a very great advantage over the knife thrower since, as already noted, no knife ever flies as an arrow does, but must, of course, turn end over end on its flight to the mark. An arrow can be shot many times the effective range of a throwing knife, and if an archer misses his quarry, he often has a chance for another shot or 2 before the game moves in fright. The 28 target field or hunting round of archers, however, requires a considerable amount of acreage, while the knife thrower can lay out a course of as many targets as he needs in his own backyard. These can be small targets with animal faces tacked onto the boards and nailed to stakes driven into the ground. Any archery shop can provide the target faces at a nominal cost. With a little imagination, the knife thrower can rig up numerous interesting animal targets for use at various distances and devise rules to govern contestants for a good competitive event. Indoor targets. If the regular knife target is moved indoors for the winter and space is available in a basement or heated garage, cover the walls and floor with old carpets to protect the weapons from being marred on the hard cement. Everybody misses a stick once in a while. Keep your targets in good repair and don't worry about getting them rain-soaked. A waterlogged target will soften somewhat, a phenomenon that is especially favorable to the knife thrower if the target is constructed of rather hard wood. Wipe the points dry after each throw to prevent rust.